Hey guys, welcome to the woods. Well, I'm kind of hooked on this just doing the phone in my hand again thing. That's what I used to do for my early videos. And then I got all proper with a little folding chair and a phone holder that I could fit in my backpack. They're so small and perfect. But I don't know, then you got to carry the stuff and you never, Anyway, so I found this inspired spot here. I got this tree, just sort of, it's at standing height. And it's got two branches, a little V. I can just sit in here. It's so comfy. I still got to hold my phone up, but at least you can get a view. And I don't have to sit on the ground or something. I don't know. All right, let's get started. That's 30 seconds wasted. I was thinking it from this perspective. What would be the report from the other side of spiritual awakening? People talk about oneness. Oh, you get this sense of oneness. And, for sure, that's a way to describe it. Maybe oneness has a meaning for you, maybe it doesn't, maybe you've experienced it, maybe you've mastered the technique of being in that vibration of oneness. So wherever you are on that spectrum, my sense of things at this point of view, I'm trying to think like, what would I come back with that I could share that hasn't already been said? Probably nothing, right? Everything's already been said. But here's a little twist on some things that have been said that maybe I didn't look at them this way, and I'm thinking that maybe people who are listening to me haven't thought of it this way either. All right, so I connect to the other side. My deep oneness sense is everything your little heart desires is right here in your ethers, all available at all times. And what keeps us from letting that in? Because it's definitely not, we've known this for a long time, it's not a I gotta go get it thing. It's I gotta get rid of the resistance that doesn't allow it. That's how a vibration works, right? You fight off the integration of what is around you. And that's where you get all tangled up. And what is around you is important to know what it is. What is around you is all accepting, loving perfection. Perfection's probably taken by a lot of people sort of like tricky. Like, what do you mean? That's their perfection. I'm definitely not. So that makes us at odds. And that's not a good word to use. But the all loving, all accepting, all patient sense of yourself and your experience and what you'll see within and what you'll see when you look out, that really, really soft. That's why they talk about like going into discovering your inner child. There's all kinds of stuff written about that, because that's the way I would describe it. That's what I did. You look at my old videos, I talked about that a lot. I spend my days, I haven't really done that as much lately, but I'm in another realm now. But spending my days feeling like my 3-year-old self, 3 to 5 years old, is walking me along. And wants to stop when it wants to stop, and wants to look when he wants to look, and wants to sleep when he wants to sleep, and wants to cry when he wants to cry, and wants to be excited, and let them all happen as they happen, when they happen throughout the day, and be okay with it. And that took me a long way of helping my journey. What I was going to say now, though, is once you've really got to get that helicopter view of like, I'm just an energy ball. I'm trying to integrate with the energies that are around me and the experiences I get to see with my vibrational percepting eyes, ears, and the smells, and everything all comes together in my brain. And I see a scene, and I lean against logs, and yeah, things are real because this is my scene. Now we're all in it kind of together, so there's this collective consciousness thing that's playing into it, and the vibration of the planet plays into it, and there's so many things. We don't need to try to figure all that stuff out, but just know that it's a soft, loving, not a condemning, not a person, an energy at the outer edges of your energy ball is not scary land. There's nothing, there's no intrusion, there's nothing comes your direction. No one gives you difficulties. No one gives you hardships. You're not a victim of anything. No one's ever done anything to anyone else. We invite it into our lives. But that gets tricky. That blocks, most people stop right there. See, I told you that. That's why I don't go within, because I don't want to hear that kind of language. Anyway, that and a bunch of other things. But this is a tricky conversation. Most people have a block to this conversation somewhere between when I started and now. Little things tick up that, like, I don't agree that all options are acceptable and that everything's perfect. Let's just start with that, because that's really the one that it boils down to. You got to lean all the way till you feel emotionally, energetically, no questions, no nothing. You know that everything is perfect. If that's what you're chasing forever. Now, when do you feel like everything's perfect? In that blissful moment, not all the time, but and when you get to that point where everything seems perfect, they get challenging again. So then you got to rise up again. So it's always sort of, it's a wiggle. And that's the way energy is, in a wiggle, right? You get closer and you get further. The planet's doing the same thing around the galaxy. It gets closer to the higher vibration and lower to the vibration and higher to the vibration, based on planets around and all the energy ball that is the galaxy, that's the universe. We don't need to figure that part out either. But we can at least be comfortable with something right outside of us that's never here to do us harm, but is only trying to coax out of us a lean towards a happier place in your heart, in your mind, in your surroundings, in your relationships, in your endeavors, in your dreams, in your everything. The whole ball of wax. How do we get it to be a little more loving to ourselves? That's the only person we're trying to do this for. You got one person. And so if you're bad-mouthing yourself, putting yourself down, talking about your weaknesses more than your strengths, or people don't even know what their strengths are. They know their weaknesses, and that's it. That's how much they don't tell the other side. So I see that in the world. We all see that, right? Well, we're all doing it. It's just to what degree? So we're all turning away from something scary. That's why I say you're either moving towards love or fear, and those words don't teach. Yeah, so I'm looking for some things that could latch onto some sense of things that you've had in the past, and these things click with you. I don't know. You can get energetic downloads. Many people on YouTube who are doing some of this kind of spiritual stuff, like healers, for instance. There's some definitely very well documented, qualified healers, and they do their healing right on YouTube. You can watch an old recording and still get the vibrational transfer. So it's kind of a, magical thing, but that's why I say this technology is here for our enlightenment. We can turn off the news in our technology and in our lives, but you don't need to throw away your phone. That's a gift from God, if you want to say that. It really was already always around us. All of this technology is. Anti-gravity and all that type of stuff. It's right here in our midst. And when people pick up things at a certain time, it's because the planet and the information are getting into a synchronicity, and some people can pick up on it. Where are we going? What's hot? Like when they came out with the electricity, it's time the electricity came out. And the time when they came out with, all the little bits of technology. And anyway, so it's out here in the galaxy, in the ethers, in your vortex, as Abraham likes to say. That's all part of who you are, and that helicopter view. So from that perspective, here's the piece I was going to share with you. That was the only reason I got on the phone here. This sense of what keeps you from receiving all the bounty that you're living in the midst of. And yes, there's enough of everything for everybody. We couldn't overexploit a product on the planet. But if you think you can exploit product on the planet, then you're going to get an experience of a lot of humans on the planet exploiting the product of the planet. Because that's their sense. Their sense of lack says there's not enough of something, so we're going to run the planet on things there's not enough of because I can control it. Right? I mean, that's fear. And that's what drives most everything that we do. But anyway, we're on the spiritual journey right now because that's where we are in the galaxy. That's why this conversation's coming out of me, and it's coming out of a whole bunch of other people. And I'm sure I'm not the only one this year that you'll hear saying these same kind of things. But what you're getting from the ethers out here in this land of oneness is that the barometer that doesn't let it in, unworthiness. Unworthiness is at the heart of it all. It's sort of like fear and that kind of word. You could pull a lot of things out of and call them, yeah, that's unworthiness too. The self-doubt, the bad talk, people just, for whatever reason, you win the lottery, blow all your money because you never had money before. You're unworthy of the money. But unworthiness, it's sort of like you're leaning towards everything's perfect and you're letting go of unworthiness. That's the other end of the rubber band tension that's allowing you to, I should probably be going up, But it's not an up and down thing, of course. It's more complicated. But you could say up and down the dial of your FM radio, but it's not really like going up and down, is it? I mean, you're changing the frequency, though. And we're just like a radio. We work with frequencies, too. And we only know about a very, very small amount of the frequencies that are around us. We're not that sensitive to them because we've been in a desensitized environment in the place in the galaxy where the planet Earth is just coming from. So it's like springtime right now. We got the equipment, the tools, the computers, and we've got the mindset now to connect with our ethers and do what all the greats have done on the planet up to this point, whether it's healing or insights or massive amounts of giving of yourself without an inner struggle like Jesus did, then you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. That's the new language. You're an energy ball, and we're trying to get tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And if you're not, you're a detriment to society. There's no two ways about it. We could spell that out in a whole bunch of directions. If you're not tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then there's a whole lot of people catering to you to make you better and working around you and walking on eggshells or suffering with you. And then the people you might influence, children and things like that, sort of grow up with that same, the sins of the father get spread to the son. So it's just, unless you go within and get touched into the ethers around you and find that love connection and know that you're worthy of peace and calm in your day, what else do you really want? Until you have peace and calm in your moment, no one can give you anything. You can't enjoy, you can't feel worthy, you can't, nothing. It's like I'm going to climb deeper into my suffering. So, it's easy though. Just put something down, slow down, spend more time focused on your breath, because the breath can help you get your body into a rhythm. And you get your body into a rhythm, then you'll be able to pick up on the rhythms around you. And just reminding yourself that you're trying to ease up a little bit, and doing will happen when you're connected. You'll be a much more powerful doer, as I've been saying for over a year, sitting on this log. Being connected. But you can take this connection into the world, you can take this connection into your business, you can take this connection into your relationships at home. But sit down first by yourself and get a handle on it, and keep reminding yourself, keep yourself tuned in, like, oh yeah, no, I'm going into I feel it, I'm going to the dark side. And just ease up on yourself, go back to the helicopter view and lean towards everything is perfect. And I'm worthy. I'm worthy of being treated properly. I'm worthy of being loved. I'm worthy of being accepted. I'm worthy of being heard. I'm worthy of being angry. I'm worthy. That's an important little distinction. I'm worthy of all the gifts that are around us and the lifestyle that's available to everyone on this planet. Now, people would argue who are unworthy and say, but all those people are keeping me from allowing me to become who I wanted to be. And that is totally wrong. If you're in that vibration, then that's not leaning towards everything's perfect. You're leaning towards, here's who's messed it all up for me, why it's not perfect for me right now. And that'll never get you there. So that'll give you the counter direction. You got to just be more accepting of what is, of everything that is. Really, you got to be accepting before you can find the perfection in it. Until you feel the perfection in it, you're not connected. And until you're connected, life's not fun. But we all connect a little bit. We've all been, like I always say, 10%, you lean 10%, you get a good feel for it. You're like, oh yeah, okay, I got it. And off you go. So anyway, that's 15 minutes, or almost. I got 10 more seconds to say, I do love you guys, and I'm going to hold my phone up, give you a better view. It's nice out here. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. So get outside and love on yourself. Really. You're more than worthy. Everything you've got is something you think you're not really good at. Oh, this, I wish I was better at this. And people tell me I'm no good at that and this and that. Those are always your gifts. That's something that stands out. Oh, my poor communication skills really stand out. Maybe I would do well to be in the woods just meditating and praying about the gifts that this world has given to all of us, and everyone who comes into contact with you will be better off for it, and it'll ripple out throughout the galaxy. So you can say nothing and sit in the woods and accomplish more than, all the doing that people want to say you're not good at doing. But you've got some gift, you've got some special talent, you've got some special calling, you've got something, not a duty. Calling could be a little funny. It's you have a little nudge. I like to call it a nudge. You got a little nudge of something you'd like to do, but you'll never find that if you're paying any attention to what anyone else is saying or doing. So chew on that for a little bit. That's probably pretty good. All right, so that's it. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you again soon.